We are going to talk to Danny Smith. Full disclosure, he works with me. He is basically a project manager for an outreach process, and I want to talk to Danny about what seems to be working with the outreach that you're helping CEOs with. And I don't need you to go too deep into the secrets, Danny, but please introduce yourself and talk about the work you do.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. My name's Danny, and my background is in investor relations and corporate development across the health tech space. So I work with Christiaan and company. I also serve as a consultant for an early stage company called Chromaton, and then also as an advisor for a startup called Fanes Biotech. So across these companies, we use really similar processes and strategy for targeting investors. So Christiaan asked that I just share a little bit with you on kind of how we go about doing that. But I guess I'll start on the research side. So strategy, we want to take a very targeted approach. We don't really want to spam investors, and we want to have a specific reason for reaching out. So Paul, I think, touched on this earlier, but go to the people that really know your science. So for Chromaton, we recently have been going through a bridge round, and we're targeting angels. So we researched recent exits in our space, and we've been targeting key members of their former leadership teams that potentially made out on those deals. So we built out our list, met with our board and technical advisory board members just to see what warm introductions they can make. The warm intros definitely help. So lean on your networks and especially Bullpen members too for those intros. But I guess just with outreach, going through LinkedIn, we found has been the best approach. So it's a combo of LinkedIn and email, but LinkedIn's really a great tool. So it's just easier to build natural relationships. And I think, Christiaan, over the years, since we've started doing this, we've seen like 30 to 50% connection rate versus like 5% or less for email. So our strategy has pretty much been around LinkedIn. And it's a pretty simple process. So we start with a connection request, just something very brief, sharing your background, just trying to find common ground. And the goal is to really just have your connection accepted. Then moving into a LinkedIn message, just kind of your reason for reaching out. Goal is just set an introduction networking call or have an investor ask for your deck, then just setting a meeting. So it's a pretty simple process, but it's just really having a reason for reaching out. And if you put the time in to do the research up front, it just makes reaching out a lot easier. So yeah, I guess just kind of the main point is just lean on your networks and yeah, make good connections. So
yeah, I'll follow up. I wanted to share Danny with you guys for a couple of reasons. One, you can do this yourself. You need a pitch book, subscription, or Crunchbase, and you need to be able to do take that time to do the research, because you don't want to waste your own time with meetings that aren't right, and you don't want to invest investors' time. But LinkedIn has an algorithm. You can do about 100 invites a week ish, more if you kind of build that algorithm out. And I know you're not spamming, but you could set, and Danny does this, a protocol where I'm going to reach out to 100 investors a week. That means you're going to get really some folks are able to get 60% connection rates. Others are closer to 30. So out of that 100, you're going to get 30 to 60 connections. And then after you respond back, basically saying, hey, if you ever want to talk about your specialty area, I'd love to have an intro. You're going to get about 25% of those folks opting in. So, that spills out into 10 to 15 meetings a week that are qualified and cold, right, for the most part. So you need this process. I always ask my investors that, for me, angel funding is so difficult, and it is for all of us. I closed a seed round last June. I think it's gotten better since, but it's still really tough. But where is your list? That's my question. And back to Phil's statement that this is a sales job, and it means you need to be disciplined. And if you don't have a list and you haven't done that research, you better find somebody who will do that for you if you're serious about what you're doing. And spamming doesn't work. And it doesn't work to hire an intern who doesn't have experience in the space. You're going to work too hard for that. What you need to do is get the outreach out there, whether you're doing it or somebody else is helping you, and then have authentic meetings. So it's worked well for us. That's a process you can take and replicate easily with anybody in your network.